See that.
So much technology.
She only gave me one receipt.
I see a sign that says webinar is now streaming live on Facebook.
Woohoo! Okay, fantastic. Let's see if we can.
We are
see
live on 5.
Okay, well now I'm in Facebook, but I don't see where we're in the group. Do y'all see us in the group, or am I supposed to look at us? Oh, I do see us in the group. Hey everybody. Okay, I think we've done it now. Okay, but how do we see the chat? Can we see the chat? I think I'll look at it on Facebook, and so I can see the chat if anybody has any questions. Does that work?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can y'all hear us? Let me see. I don't want to hit it on the computer. There's just so much technology going on right now. Let me just triple check. I tested this the other day and I think it works the way I did it, but we'll see. Y'all have any comments or questions or anything? Can y'all hear us out there? Okay, here, I found it.
I'm looking for the chat too.
Okay, I got us.
Chat.
Hey, can y'all hear us?
Perfect.
Okay, there's we got 2 people with us now. Okay,
All
this is
panelists
fantastic.
and attendees. Hi guys.
All right. Hey, Flamingos.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Awesome. They can see all 4 of us. So, and I think they can hear everybody. I'm waiting to see that. I haven't had any comments come in, but y'all tell me, hey, we got 4 people here now. Okay, awesome. They say they can hear us. I could hear on my phone when I checked. So y'all say hello to the flamingos. Everybody give me a flamingo in the comments when you can see us and you can hear us. Yay, or give me some hearts. Y'all give me some love out here. All right, I'm going to introduce everybody. All their names are up on the screen, but I want you to introduce yourselves so that everybody can get to know y'all. Okay, so who wants to go first?
Oh, well.
Come
Hi,
on.
everybody. My name is Sheila Britt, and I live in southeastern Washington State. And I've been with Whitney for 2.5 years. And I started out in first Still Done Fast, then bumped up to Plus, and then bumped up to Mastermind, and I'm still here.
And that was in June of 18?
Yeah.
Was it June?
Yeah, June, July. Yep.
Awesome.
And I went into Mastermind in August.
Fantastic. Good stuff. All right, who wants to go next?
I will. My name is Shelley McDonald. I'm originally from Kansas City, but I moved to Tennessee about 30 years ago. I have been an investor. I was doing some starting out stuff, and I met Whitney in somewhere in the November, December of 19. She purchased the local RIA, and I was a part of that. So actually, I had pulled back and didn't participate in 2019. And when I found a female that spoke the language that I did and basically had the energy she did, I joined. So I've been a member of the flock. Brenda and I met at the RIA. And we have both been in Whitney's program, FDDF, and then we bumped up to Plus. I think it's probably maybe a couple months later, I realized that I needed the camaraderie, I needed the accountability, I needed support, and I also needed a lot of mindset. So that is me, and I'm still here. I'm still standing.
Yay, good. All right, you want to go now?
Okay, I'll go. I met Whitney through a lender. I was doing the BRRRR strategy, if you're familiar with that, and I was on my second one, and I was getting a mortgage on my second rental, and the mortgage broker introduced me to Whitney. And then I had been going to the Knox RIA, but no disrespect to the Knox RIA, but I just didn't feel a connection there. But then when Whitney bought it and I started going, I felt more accepted and more at ease, and it just seemed more relevant to me. So So I've been going to the Noxeria and seeing her there. And then I bought the First Still Done Fast, and I soaked that up pretty quickly and started working on deals, and then realized I needed help because I had so many questions along the way. So I bumped up to Plus, and Whitney's helped walk me through the deals. And I have to say, it just in the short amount of time we've been working together, I've had tremendous success with her help.
Mhm.
Yay, thank you. And you didn't give us your name or where you're from or what you do.
Sorry, I've been up for a few hours. My name's Brenda, and I live in Sevier County, Tennessee. I'm also a 5th grade math teacher. I don't know how in detail you want me to go about that, but I'm working on building my real estate portfolio so I can retire from teaching. I'm pretty close to the retirement number. So I'm working on that.
Awesome. And Shelly, you didn't tell us what you were doing.
Oh, previous to real estate, I worked with physicians. I basically worked with physicians, teaching physicians in documentation, and did a lot of auditing of records and things like that. So I don't have a real estate background, but I have learned a lot in the last 3 years, and this is definitely my path. So.
Awesome. Hey, Sheila, tell us what you were doing.
What I was doing. Yes. I worked for an electrical contractor. We moved to Washington State almost 5 years ago from North Carolina. And one of the things I promised my husband was if we would make this move, I'd get back into real estate. 2 years here, and he's like, clock's ticking. What are you doing? And that's when I found WIT, and I was working a 9 to 5 as a office manager for an electrical contractor. And I have previous real estate experience. I used to be a fix and flipper another lifetime ago. I'm a licensed general contractor in North Carolina and Virginia. And I owned a structural steel company, and construction is my background. So I hung all that up when I moved to North Carolina because the rules there were different. I didn't know anything any different than buying from the courthouse steps. So when I found out how hard it was to do in North Carolina, I quit doing it. And so that's why he gave me the ultimatum of either do it or we're not moving. So here I am.
Awesome. Okay. I have a question. I want everybody to answer this one truthfully, because I already know the answer. So I want you to tell them the truth. Had you been working with any other real estate coaches before you joined First Still Done Fast or FTDF Plus?
Yes.
All right, Sheila. Sheila's nodding. What you got?
Yep.
You don't have to say who. Just tell me what it was. And
yep. When we first got started, Wayne and I were going together to different classes and so on. And we got connected with a group and found out all they wanted was our money. And the first time I called and asked for help on a deal, they said, how big is your buyer's list? I said, I don't have a buyer's list. They said, well, build a buyer's list and then we can talk. We quickly left that. That was not going to happen because I didn't know how to do that and they weren't willing to teach me.
Wow.
Shelly, don't tell me who, but tell me what it was. Tell
Okay,
me what
so
was going on.
we joined, my daughter and I joined a group, and they were pretty good. I gotta say, I learned quite a bit, but I felt like that we weren't connecting. They were in Utah, we were here, there was a time difference. That wasn't the biggest thing. It was that we were speaking different language. You know, his experience was, he was trying to share his experience, an older gentleman, and that wasn't really my experience I really felt like when I heard Whitney speak, it was like, I can model that. She understands where I'm coming from. When I say this, she goes, yep, I get it. And, or if I say, I don't understand this, we back up and go over it and give it some color or whatever, you know, so that so that I can, grasp it. Not having a real estate background, but having such a thirst for information and growth, I really felt like that experience was okay, but I've really grown exponentially this year. So that was
Good.
my
Okay,
experience.
Brenda?
I did not have a mentor before I met Whitney, but I knew I needed one. And I really believe in paying for your education. I don't have any hangups with that. I think if you want to learn, if you want to really take steps forward and do it well, you need to pay for a mentor. You need to find somebody like Whitney that suits you. And I had watched all the YouTubes I could find and had talked to some different ones, but I hadn't really met anybody that I wanted to connect with. And then I met Whitney, so signed up with her, and I'm glad I did. But
Now,
it
you
will
told us
fit.
in the beginning that you were doing the Burr method. How did you learn about the Burr method?
Self-taught, just reading books and watching free content on YouTube, and just falling forward the whole way and making mistakes and just trying to figure it out as I went. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not sad that I did it, because you're going to pay for education one way or the other. It's either going to be through the mistakes that you make or a mentor that helps you along the way.
Now,
I found, sorry, I was gonna say, I
Go
found
ahead.
her, I was listening to podcasts, real estate podcasts, and Whitney was a guest on somebody else's podcast. And I'm friends with the other person, even today. I mean, we chat and so on, but everything resonated in my soul with Whitney. And I felt like that was the direction I need to go, instead of going with the person who we weren't friends at the time, but who I was listening to.
all good. Okay, cool. Okay, so whether you had a plan or had somebody or had something, or you were just kind of figuring it out, y'all all had real estate experience before me. Shelly, you closed a deal before you came into my world, and Sheila, you had all sorts of stuff, and Brenda had a portfolio and regular rentals. So what happened to say, okay, I can do things, yeah, I got it, but I'm gonna do this? And then what were the wins that you started to see when you were in the flock that said, oh, this is gonna work, we got this?
The flame
Does that
you
make
put
sense?
under-
What, Wayne?
The flame that you put under Sheila, the accountability. And then when I got home, the accountability was there twice. So we kind of teamed up on her. Truth.
So I've done more deals this year than I did my first year.
You did more in your second year than in your first year.
Right. Well, yeah, this year, last year, yeah.
Yeah. But what was it? Because you get in, you see stuff, and there's something. But what was it like when you started talking to sellers that Shelly said, this is going to work?
Right. So I had never, in my previous experience, I had never done the 3 offers.
That is it. That is it.
And I would go in and I would give them that lowball number and say, this is all I can do for you. And on my very first deal, that was fine, because I ended up wholesaling it. And then after that, the same day I collected my assignment check on that wholesale deal, I signed a contract with my first owner finance deal.
Yay.
And so with both of those, I did the 3 offers, and I was like, there's something to this multiple offer situation. And I still have that on my letters when I send yellow letters, that says that I offer options and provide solutions.
Ooh, that has a nice ring to it. I like that. I like that. Awesome. Okay, Shelly, you agreed with 3 offers. What was it?
In my former training, they were really focused on hard money, expensive flips. everything was focused on either, do a wholesale or do a fix and flip. And it wasn't so much the buy and hold. There wasn't a long-term plan. It was just, it didn't give a bigger picture for me. I think that when I first found out about the 3 offers, I was really, kind of blown away. It was like, wow, creative financing. And then when I first got my first property with basically no money down, interest free, these people were going to walk away and let me have this house. And I just thought, this actually happens. And I actually helped somebody. This gentleman, it was like the feeling that you are helping somebody with their house problem. It's just amazing. Even though there's work to be done, there's stresses and strains and growth things that happen in the process, it doesn't take away from the fact that, literally you bought a house, and, you may have even walked in there with equity, especially with this last year. And and then you turn around and you provide housing for somebody, and you're making a profit. What? And there's 3 ways to win. What? There's cash flow today. There's an option fee. There's, you can even sell it at a profit later on. So I knew I was in the right place. I knew it was going to take some time. And I had some other, baggage that I needed to kind of work out, as far as, that self-talk of, no, telling yourself no, or, doubt or whatever. But, that also is something that I really like about what we do and how we work together is that we share some of the little speed bumps that we run into, and I get to grow, and I get the support, because I know it's just a, it's just a mindset, but truly it, doing the lease options, doing the creative financing, and not being directed towards a fix and flip at all costs, well, with extra cost, I guess, because hard money is expensive. That is paramount to, me feeling like I was in the right place.
Awesome. Brenda, what was it for you? Because if you were doing the Burr method, were you buying properties on the market with agents and then going to get financing and doing all the kind of, regular stuff?
Yes, the first one I just bought off the MLS. I didn't know any different, and I didn't know what else to do, and I wanted to buy a house. I was just determined to buy a house, so I did. And I used the bank, and I did the Burr strategy, so I used hard money, and I put in a lot of money, work, effort, and cried a lot, and a lot of late nights just repairing that house. And then I went to the bank and cashed out, refinanced it, and it didn't come back out as much as I wanted because I had sunk too much in it on the repairs. And then I put a tenant in there, which was really nice. They have great tenants, but it was a regular rental. And when things would go wrong, I'd have to send somebody out to fix it. So I wasn't really, any cash flow I was making, I was spending it on repairs. So I was like, I don't know, I'm not making a lot of money every day, but this is good for the long term because I want to make money later, I know. So I'm going to keep doing it. So I bought another house and I did it again. And that second house broke me. I was like, I am not doing this anymore. I'm too tired. This is terrible. And then the repairs on that one were eating up my cash flow. And I was like, there just has to be a better way. Like, there has to be a better way. And then when I look at all the money I paid to the hard money lender and the banks, it just really added up. So I was like, I want to do this creatively. There has to be a better way. Why can't I just buy straight from, why can't we just do business together, the seller and I, and cut out the middleman? And then the idea of having the tenants in charge of the repairs, to me, was like, yes, like I can barely keep my own house going. How am I going to keep a portfolio of ever how many I'm going to acquire, all in tip-top shape. So now my tenants are in charge of the repairs. I love that. To me, that's gold. So we make money today on option fees. I was doing a contract right before I hopped on here. The one I'm doing right now is going to be $8,000. So we get money today. This one that I'm going to do is going to cash flow $800 a month. So I'm going to make money every month, and I'm selling it for more than I paid for it. So I'm winning three ways. And that's way better than what I was doing before with the BRRRR and the traditional rental. Way better.
Now, wait a second. I was going to ask what you're currently working on later. Tell me about in the beginning when you came into the world and did the first creative deal. How did you know that this was going to be the right thing? How, like, this was going to work? This is going to be great.
Well, I mean, I didn't have to use the bank for one, because they really get on my nerves. So I was excited to, you know, I don't have to deal with them. We're just going to go, the seller and I, whatever we agree to. He's happy, I'm happy. And it really worked out. The first deal that I did creatively, I felt fantastic, because the lady that owned the home was in a nursing home with Alzheimer's, and the son had power of attorney. He did not want to sell the house outright because he didn't want his siblings money grabbing for the equity in the house, because he needed $1,100 a month to keep his mom in this nicer facility that he had her in. And he was like, "Can you give me $1,100 a month?" And I'm like, "Yes, I can." So we worked it out to where we all agreed that it worked for him. And that $1,100 goes into her account, which goes straight to her nursing home. So that house is providing a home for her still to this day. And it's working for me. And my tenant buyers are tickled to death to be there.
Yay! All right, I want to ask you all about the yellow letters. What's with the yellow letters, and do they work?
Oh my goodness.
They work.
Yes,
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
I thought yellow letters were dead. Everybody's sending out direct mail.
They still say that yellow letter, you know, it's archaic. And what's funny is a lot of people call me because they said, if you took the time to write me a letter, I just want to know who you are and what you know, what this is about.
And I think because they're not perfect and printed, it's more personable, and people want to know who you are, and it's got your first name on it, and they just call you up just to have a conversation.
In December, we closed on a yellow letter property, and the sellers live out of town, and they had owned the house for 25 years. And they called and they said, you know, "We have a house, you sent us a letter." We set up a meeting. I went and looked at the house, and they said, "What's going on here? Right? We've owned this house 25 years. And last week we received 4 letters. And I was like, okay. And they said, "So is the market that good?" And I'm like, "Oh no, it's just more people getting into the thing. It's all right. It's all good." After we walked through, we talked about the house, talked about the things. And I told them I would get back to them that afternoon with my 3 offers. And as I was getting ready to leave, they told me, "By the way, we looked you up on the internet." And I was like, okay.
What'd you find?
I had to come home and check it out myself. But anyway, they had actually seen the YouTube of Whitney and I. And so they, even though they had showed the house to other people, because they could verify that I was a real person and that this is something that I was doing because of finding me on the internet.
And the passion.
And so that's why they sold me the house.
It's about 7th, right? Did they let-
One thing I'll say to that is Sheila found me on a podcast, and then she did a deal because she was on my podcast. So I love the way you bring this all around together.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So let's see. What, tell me about the group coaching calls on Tuesdays.
It's a learning
What is
experience
it?
for
Bring it
everybody.
back. A learning experience?
Yep. We all share and we celebrate our successes. We celebrate the things that we've accomplished this week in real estate. We talk about the things we've accomplished in life for the week. And then when we go into office hours, then we can discuss more on the problems or the questions that we have, the speed bumps we've hit, and we all are on here together and we work out the details. We share information. I've been doing this longer than most of the ladies in here, so we're able to share those experiences, and I learn from them as much as I hope to contribute to them.
I second that.
Shelley?
And I feel like that, you know, when we get in there and we share, that is such a valuable, not only does it validate some of the questions and feelings that you have, when you see one of your comrades having that same struggle or that same question, or, you know, or any of that kind of stuff. But truly, I feel like that you don't feel alone, because a lot of people don't understand this. You know, about making 3 offers, about sending out yellow letters, about buying houses and then turning around and selling them to some. They're realtors, you know, they are not taught. So it's not something like you could have a bunch of friends that are agents who are selling retail houses that would understand what we're doing. And we're building a portfolio of income for money today, money over time, and money later. And, you know, when you really get the concept of the opportunity that you can grasp, and it's just here at your fingertips, and you have people in the group that are supporting you, understand you, that you can reach out to, validate you, or even kick you in the pants or the skirt, as Whitney says, you know, it's very valuable. It's very valuable. I've grown tremendously.
Here's a mini story.
Brenda?
We had a real estate agent in this area that kept telling Sheila and I what we were doing. 1 was illegal. 2, it's not going to work. You're never going to do it in the valley. Now this real estate agent sends us houses because they know we're legit.
Sends us leads, yeah.
Awesome. Brenda, what about you? Because sometimes you don't make it to the Tuesday calls.
Sometimes I don't, but I remember back whenever we were shut down and we were home, every Tuesday I would wake up excited, like, oh, I get to get on the call today, because I just love that. And then I had to go back to school, and I can't really get on, and I miss that, but I do watch them when I get up early the next day because they're recorded, and then I just leave comments in the comment sections. And just tag people and, you know, interact that way sort of after the fact.
No,
So it works out.
chill.
I love being able to talk about this, talk about what I'm doing with the other ladies, because nobody else is going to listen to me go on about this. Nobody else wants to hear this, let alone understand what I'm saying. So y'all are just priceless because I can spout it out and you know what I'm saying, and you don't care to listen to it. You know, you're not sick of hearing it from me or changing the subject or rolling your eyes. I get that sometimes. Like, oh, here we go again. So I love being able to jump on there and chat with y'all. And if I can't make the group, I can always call one of you, you know, if I want to sound off about something or just talk about it. I can
Yeah,
always just
we've
call.
had several conversations.
Yeah, I've talked to him. I just call them up if I need to, you know, if I feel like it or if I feel like I'm missing something. So it works out.
So sometimes real estate is a roller coaster. How does the group help you stay on track and stay focused on your goals?
It holds us accountable. If we say we're going to do 100 letters this week, then that's the question. Did you do your 100 letters? It's accountability. Did you go talk to that for sale by owner that you talked about, that you saw the sign? Did you call them? Did you make the appointment? Did you follow up? Did you follow through?
Harry and I are.
also when we have office hours on Tuesdays, and I have been known to say, what, you didn't call them? We'll call them and come back. We'll be here when you get back.
True. That is so true.
Is
Call them and come back. That's right.
And don't you always just feel so much better then? Shelly, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
Oh, one of the other Flamingos, we have a date tomorrow to hold each other accountable on something. I said, text me, so it's like, push me. I need a push. I do too, okay, we'll push and we'll probably connect together and have our answers of what, the outcome. Sure.
And Brenda, you've done several deals over the last year, but it seems like, every deal is a little bit different. So you bring those questions back and we get you and keep you going and keep you focused, right?
That's right. That's right. Because I got to bring
Brenda,
my
what was your
questions-
goal? Go ahead, say it again.
I need to bring my questions somewhere, and that's the perfect place to bring it. And if we don't have an answer, we'll find one. And I hope everybody else learns from the questions that I leave. I know they do, because I learn from all the questions they leave.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I love your questions.
Well, I've got plenty of
Hey,
them.
Brenda,
I do. I love them.
Brenda, what was your goal last year?
In 2020, I had prayed to the Lord for 10 houses, and the Lord blessed me with 13. So I'm very grateful.
Yay!
Mhm.
I want you to know that she did a portfolio package deal of 7 in December.
Mm.
All right. Like, she was hustling down to the wire.
Yeah.
That was a hustle.
You
That was a
did.
little
Brenda did
different.
some wholesale. Now, Brenda, would you rather hustle wholesale deals or the lease option deals?
Oh, lease option deals all day. I don't care to do. I mean, I will do a wholesale deal. I did 2. I've only done 2, and each time I was like, "This is driving me crazy." And I'm glad I did them, so I'm not complaining. But it's just money now. It's money now.
That's
You
it.
get a check, you've hustled, you get paid, you're done.
Right.
The houses are different because you get money now with your option fees. You get monthly money every month, and you get money on the end if you can work it out to where you win 3 ways. They're way better. If I'm going to spend that much time and effort on something, I want to keep the house.
Sheila, Brenda, not Brenda, Sheila or Shelly, would you rather wholesale or lease option?
Oh, definitely
option.
lease option for the same reason. I mean, I've got one that we bought 2 properties in December. One was the one where the people said they saw me online, and the other one, it needs some love, and we're expecting a tenant buyer to come in and clean it up, and I did pay to have it cleaned because the cleaning lady that owned it didn't clean it. And I'm expecting to get about $10,000 as my option fee and $600 a month from what my payment is. And we bought it for $145, but we borrowed $160 from our private lender, and we're looking to sell it for $225. So we'll get paid all 3 ways.
Yay! That's fantastic.
And the extra money we
Shelly,
borrowed.
what about you?
Oh, I absolutely prefer a lease option to a wholesale. Wholesale's not bad. I think that there's going to be a place for that, especially if you get a cash offer accepted and it needs some heavy lifting. Don't throw your buyers list away. Keep in touch with other end buyers because potentially you will use them. But lease
Okay, so
option is long term.
That's my next question. So this week we're focused on the honey hole, right? And we're
Right.
focused on sellers. So y'all have all said, there's going to be somebody that's going to go for this. But what about the buyers? What kind of buyers are we looking for here? And are there any of them out there?
Yeah, they want to be homeowners. That's their dream.
On
Oh my
this
God.
house that I'm writing a contract for, I'm so grateful to have picked one because I'm like, oh, talked to hundreds of people. I'm not kidding.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Hundreds of people?
Yeah.
Yes.
They come out of the woodwork.
When I advertised my lease option on Facebook Marketplace, it has over 1,400 views, and I've talked to probably over half of those.
That's awesome. And I tell everybody all the time, focus on the sellers, because if you can put inventory out there, there's going to be a ton of people that want to come look at it, buy it, take it, talk to you, and all of that. Don't you worry about having a buyer's list. Don't you worry about who you're going to deal with. Like if you're going to wholesale and you need somebody to cash out, that's fine. But if you get a good deal, you'll still find other people with money.
Right.
So don't worry about the buyers. People are going to have money and they're going to love to do these deals. Y'all just feel so good in your heart when you help these people get into a home.
Yes.
Hmm. They're
That's
so
another thing. That's another thing about our group is that, I didn't know how to handle and what to do exactly. I mean, there's, when you market here or market there or do this or do that, and I wasn't having a lot of good results with what I was doing on Facebook, and one size doesn't fit all. It just kind of depends. So you gotta have to pivot. If one thing's not working, I came back to the group and I was like, this isn't working, because I was getting the wrong people. But it was like, okay, we'll try this. Boom, immediately. So it takes a little while, not one, but it's nice to have everybody there with all of y'all's experience helping me. So I appreciate it.
You got to pray about
Good
that.
stuff. Okay, Jennifer asked, she said, how do you find buyers for your properties? So how are you putting properties out there to let people know you got something?
Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist. And a sign in the yard and sign
A
down
sign
the
in-
street.
Sign on the street, sign
Sign.
downtown. Yeah.
Sign, Zillow, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace,
Cozy.
Cozy, which goes to Hot Pads, Trulia.
Yeah, they do whatever they got, syndicate, whatever. So one hits 3.
Mhm.
I use Cozy for my payments, but I haven't used them to advertise, but that's a good option. I'll look into that.
Yeah.
Okay, Shantae says, who pays the taxes? I guess the property taxes?
The tenant buyer.
I pay my own.
I pay my own taxes.
Mm-mm.
We don't,
Nope.
we have the tenant buyers pay them and we get receipts showing they've been paid.
Because they are,
And
They are buying a home. They get all the responsibility of that home. Then there's no out of money pocket from our pocket. It comes out of theirs. They take care of it. If they know they're paying the taxes, they're going to take care of everything with it. All you have to do is follow up and make sure it's paid. Simple deal. And you save $1,000 or $2,000 or more.
And
that's
one
part
thing
of
I
our
can say,
contract.
everybody's going to have different answers because they all have different businesses and different plans and different deals and all of those things. So, you can, if you get $10,000, you can use that money to pay the taxes, and it's technically not you paying it. They paid it in advance. Okay.
$2,000 for another
See,
deal.
do you recommend starting a YouTube channel?
Anything you want, anything you feel comfortable with.
I do my house walkthroughs. It's so easy to share that link so they can see the house, like a video walkthrough. It's really easy.
Sheila does a lot of Facebook Live videos too. And you could take those down and repurpose them to a YouTube channel.
Brenda, you're gonna have to show me how to do the YouTube thing because I don't know.
Okay, I will.
Awesome.
Has your husband done deals with you?
Pardon me?
Has your husband done deals with you?
He hasn't particularly done deals with us or with me, but we at night when he gets home, because he still has a W-2. So at night we talk about him when he gets home, and I let him know what I'm working on and what I've done and the deal that I'm working on.
Shelley, has your husband done deals with you?
No, ma'am. I have no
Why is
husband.
that?
I have no husband.
Don't need that. Single girl here. We got it.
So y'all just single, just hanging out. You got all the time in the world, or you got anything else that you're dealing with in life?
I have a new grandson,
Mhm.
so I get to go play
And
with
Brenda-
him.
And Brenda, you've got
Teenagers. Two
all
teenagers.
right. Everybody's got a family life. All of y'all are moms. Sheila, you're a grandma too. Michelle, Shelly is a new nanny, and Brenda's raising teenagers, y'all. And they're still getting deals done, and they're still having fun, and they're still learning and growing and bonding with each other through all of life.
Actually,
All right,
before,
Jennifer says, how do you decide on your option fee?
ideal, it would be 10% of the purchase price. But you don't always get that. And so you have to vet everybody who is interested and see who has the most money.
Shelley, Brenda?
I would agree with that answer. You know, typically you would like to get 10%. Traditional loans are 20% down. So, you know, 10% to get in and get things squared away to get their loan. But I believe that, you know, it just depends on the property. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're wanting to move quickly and you found somebody who's credit worthy, or, you know, feel like that they're going to be ready to go, you know, or whatever, you know, whatever your criteria is.
We had a
Brenda?
problem that
Just take off.
had an open house, and there was almost a bidding war on who was going to put how much down.
Brenda?
I just take offers, I just say, hey, what do you got? What do you have to put down on a house? I said, you're buying a house. Are you prepared to buy a house? They're like, yes. I said, well, how much money do you have to put down on a house? And they always say, well, how much money do you need down on a house? I'm like, well, in the past 6 months, I've got anywhere between $5,000 and $30,000 down, and I'm taking offers, which I can make an offer on the house. But I have found that right now it's January. The offers are not as good as they were this past summer. I think it's just because it's January. I don't know. Still
Well,
good.
people will get their income taxes back in February and we'll be off again.
Yeah.
It'll be good again. People will be ready to spend that money.
Cash flow, cash flow.
All right. Bautista asked, how do I wholesale as a real estate agent?
You have to, I think you have to declare your that you're working on behalf of yourself as opposed to working on behalf of your brokerage. But other than that, I'll let somebody else answer that because I'm not an agent.
I'm
On
going to jump
purpose.
on this because I'm the only actual agent here. Sheila and Shelly both have daughters that are agents. So if they need something, they go through their girls. I am an agent. And if you're going to wholesale as an agent, you just have to disclose that you're an agent to everybody involved. And you can be a primary in the party. Just because you have a license doesn't mean that you can't be the buyer. That's no problem. And she says, do I need to do deals with my brokerage? You have to talk to your broker about that to figure it out. But as far as I care and concerned, if you put a sign in the property and you have a real estate license, it needs to have your firm name and your firm phone number on it. So if you're doing deals as an agent, you need to let your broker know because they're going to see it on Facebook anyway. And then, make sure that you're following their rules and what you want them to do. Some brokers are totally cool with you being an investor and doing things, and some just don't like it. So talk to your broker, talk to your broker, talk to your broker. Also, I'll also say none of us are attorneys or accountants. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay. And I need to find wholesale buyers also, I'm assuming. Y'all need buyers if you're going to wholesale deals? Y'all need a buyer's list before you get started?
I don't have a buyer's list. I just put it out there. And
I'm the same way. I do know some people because I do have my own real estate meetup. So I do have people who attend that I know are buyers, but as far as having actual buyers list that I email regularly and no.
Special.
But we're not
We
professional
use, I was
wholesalers.
gonna say it again, Brenda.
We're not professional wholesalers.
No,
I don't have all those systems in place and I don't need them. If I have a deal and I don't want it, I'll just put it out there and somebody else will buy it and I'll make some money in the middle.
if you find your fix and flipper group on Facebook, your local fix and flipper group, or something named similar to that, that is almost like an electronic buyer's list. So I think you're good to go.
That's true.
All right, Dawn says, is anybody having success with bandit signs?
I
Yeah,
have one.
that's how I got my first property.
I'm having a big one made. I'm excited. It's going to be really big. I'll put it in the group when I get it delivered.
It's good.
Mhm.
It's like a billboard.
Yeah.
Sheila, you said you had one.
Yep.
Just
And
one?
it's just one, and it's at the corner of an intersection that's on the way to Walmart, which my W-2 job was on that corner. And I put the sign out, and we've gotten 3 deals from that sign,
And it's still,
and it's still up. And I've been gone since August.
Yay!
I've learned to put signs up after they mow, and then they stay up longer. In the mowing months. So you watch until they mow and you go, oh, they mowed, sign up.
Okay, Dawn says, I love my husband. I love my husband too. I just like to do my house deals without him. When you get, okay, Shantae says, when you get that option money, isn't it not really yours? Don't you have to put it away for when the buyer is ready to seal the deal?
Nope.
No.
It's a credit. It's a credit. It's not actual physical money. So I've talked to a local credit union and have told them, okay, this is what I've got going on. And I'm each month when a tenant pays on time, then I'm giving them 10% of their payment toward their purchase price. What do you need from that? And they said, we just need you to tell us how much to deduct from the purchase price, and we'll consider that part of their down payment. But I don't do the first 5,000. They know it's non-refundable. Any down payment option fee is non-refundable, but the first 5,000 does not go toward that purchase price. Anything after that does.
That's
Kelly,
also,
Brenda?
that's, the option fee is also an opportunity to, stick some money back, or pay on other properties, pay them down, but stick some money back so that you're taking care of your seller. That way you may be cash flowing, there may be other things, but yeah, it's not a bad idea to tuck that away and make sure that your seller has, like Whitney says, I send my payments out. I have my payments, scheduled for the 25th of the month. That way that it goes to my seller, but it's never past the first.
But another thing to consider is if you're leasing something that you're turning around and lease optioning out, and you're making that mortgage payment, you also need to make sure that payment is to that mortgage company before the first. You never send it to your seller. You always send it to their mortgage company.
And I say this all the time. I don't want you to go to Vegas on that money, because sometime or another, I mean, if you do 6 deals, you make $10,000, you should have $60,000 sitting in the bank. And then you go out and you offer somebody $35,000, you got it. And that's your money. And all of it is non-refundable. So if they give you 10,000, like Sheila said, the first 5 doesn't count. but all of it is non-refundable. I'm not giving you any of this back if you leave. All right. It's all my money. I can do whatever I want to with it, but you get credit for only whatever's over 5,000. I love it. Jennifer says, how do you screen your tenants?
After they've seen the house and they can show me they've got the money to put down, then I send them to Cozy to do an application.
I've done it 3 different ways. I've used Cozy, Zillow, and then a different guy. And I think I like Cozy the best.
Okay, Vela says, when you have found the home and it needs repairs on the inside or the outside, who does the repairs? Us, the previous owner, or the tenant?
Depends on the repairs. If it's, my contract says that if anything happens, anything major happens after 30 days, it's their responsibility. If they want to paint a wall, they want to put down new flooring, they want to have the chimney swept, they want to replace the windows, that's all on them.
Brenda?
Well, when it depends on, okay, my tenants are in charge of their repairs after the first 30 days, but when I buy the houses, it depends on the house. Like the first one I bought from the lady in the nursing home was pristine. You know, she took care of it. So I didn't have to do anything to that house. I just had to market it. I didn't have to clean it, nothing. Then I bought another house that the lady was just nasty. She was a tenant and it was disgusting. So it had to be cleaned out. Carpet had to be pulled up. It stank, and it had to be, the backyard was all grown up. So I had to pay for all that to attract a tenant buyer. Whitney disagrees with me sometimes on some things that I do, but I got that cleaned up because she says, you know, don't spend the money on that. But maybe I could have gotten a tenant in there without doing that. But I guess maybe the BRRRR strategy in me still lives on because I just cleaned it up, and then I got the tenant in there, and now they're in charge of their repairs. I had one, they just texted me today. They said they spent $1,700 on a garage door because it wasn't working right, and they just fixed it. I'm like, good.
Good job. And Brenda, it's just that burr in you coming out. You'll get lazier as long as we do this and figure out that the less you do, the more you make. It's okay. I'm here for it. Shelly, what about you?
I addressed, you know, just a safety feature, you know, as far as that goes, but, you know, for the most part, I agree with the girls.
Now, Sheila, you were doing some really cool stuff, and then you bought a house that needed to be fixed and flipped. So you did a fix and flip, and you gonna do that again?
It ate
I'm not
up,
making any money on those.
it ate up a year of my life. And I disputed with the guy who did the floors because when they got done, it was vinyl plank flooring, and there was little humps where there was still trash left under the floors. And I tried to negotiate price with him. He refused. And they put down sheet vinyl in the kitchen, and they tore the corners, and then they tried to caulk it. It was a disaster. Anyway, no, I'm not doing that again. Now, one of the houses that we bought in December, it had people living in the backyard in an RV. So they had taken down the fence to put their RV in. So I've had the fence put back up. I have had the backyard trashed out because it had tires and rabbit hutches and all kinds of stuff. And I have had it cleaned because, like I said, it was a cleaning lady that owned it and she didn't clean. So I have had it cleaned, and I'm getting ready to have an open house on that. But that house has cost me $550 to get it cleaned up so that I can at least show it.
Awesome.
It smells like cats.
Lynn says, don't we only lease option pretty houses?
No.
No.
You can lease option a dump.
Yes.
There's people that want to have an opportunity, and they'll go in and work on it. Maybe not just move in, but they'll put their option fee down and then do some work and, you know, get it ready for them maybe they're moving out of their in-laws or something like that. So opportunities like this, when you can't get a conventional loan, but you can get into a house and work towards that, those opportunities don't come every day. These are very special opportunities for people.
Okay, little clarification. The option money is the down payment, is the option, the down payment is the down payment, the option. What is this? What are y'all saying here?
An option is an agreement for a purchase in the future for a set amount. That way you can't raise the price or lower the price or any of that stuff. You guys have an agreement with your buyer, your end buyer, your person that you're coming, that's coming into your house for a set amount of time, that and a set amount that they will purchase the house for. So it's an option to purchase it down the road, and you purchase that option because we're holding the house for you.
And on top of
And
that,
you're living there and renting it and repairing it at the same time. And also, technically, mortgage brokers, all right, Brenda dealt with mortgage brokers. Mortgage brokers take down payments on properties. I take non-refundable option fees. There's a chance, and I tell my tenant buyers, there's a chance when you go to get your mortgage, you're going to have to put money down. So make sure you save some.
and that's one of the reasons that I do the credit, the 10% credit if they pay on time. And I'm talking on time. It's due on the 1st and late by the 5th. If they don't pay by the 2nd, they lose their option fee, or they lose their 10%. And that's also paying us for our time to make this opportunity available for them. And whenever somebody inquires about one of my properties, I send them our website with the FAQ, and it tells them the first 5,000. I copied it from Whitney's website. Don't tell her. The first 5,000 is
We all did.
paying my fee, paying for my attorney's fees, paying for advertising, paying for you to have the opportunity to become a homeowner.
That's right.
Hey, Brenda, I want to ask you one last question. I'm going to tell you to go to bed because you got to get up early. This is just for Brenda. I'm not done with you, Sheila and Shelly, yet. Brenda, if anybody's thinking about getting into FTDF Plus, what would you tell them?
Well, I would say definitely do it. Get in there and get that mentorship, because if you want to be held accountable and you want to make great deals this year and really do something instead of just think about doing it, get in the group. And like I said earlier, you're going to pay for your education one way or the other. So pay for somebody, pay for Whitney to lead you along the way so that you don't make really expensive mistakes.
And we've all made them.
Yes.
Yes. It's definitely something I would encourage you to do.
Would you say get into First Little and Fast or get into Plus?
Oh, plus, definitely.
Well, plus definitely. Yeah. I mean, get first deal done fast and do that. And then also do plus.
Well, FTDF Plus includes First Little and Fast. So you could just
Okay.
jump straight into Plus.
Perfect. That's exactly what I would do.
Okay. All right.
That's
Good stuff.
exactly
Okay,
what
you
I
go to
did.
bed.
Okay.
I got.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye, Brenda.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Night.
Y'all, she gets up at like 4:30 every morning and teaches
Right.
5th graders all day.
Right.
She was fading on us.
Yeah.
Okay. Hope wants to know, am I allowed to put bandit signs up in my own front yard where I live?
Sure, it's your house.
Yep.
I'm going to say check with your HOA first, but basically you can put up a sign that says anything. I think, unless they've changed that. I don't know.
I don't know that we even have HOAs here.
Okay, Bautista says, explain the bank part I'm not sure I get it. So we use an actual bank for the option to own?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Right. You put your money in the bank, you're not going to put it under the mattress. You know what I'm saying? So you would take the option fee, put it in the bank, but it's your money.
I want to also say that this week we're focused on sellers, right? Today we talked to sellers, tomorrow we're going to make offers. A lot of those sellers have a mortgage, all right? They've got a bank or a mortgage company that's holding the note to that property. And so the bank is, we're going to send payments to the bank every single month, right? But we're not going to get the bank's permission. We're probably not even going to tell them, because the bank doesn't care if you rent your property. They don't care if you sell your property. They just want to make sure somebody makes the payment. So the bank doesn't care if I make the payments for you, or if you make the payments for you, or if you rent the house and I make the payment straight to the bank. They just don't care. Okay. So that's how the bank comes into it. And again, on the selling side, your buyer, your tenant buyer, is eventually going to have to go to the bank and get a mortgage, unless they're going to get an inheritance or a lottery winning, and then they'll just pay off whatever they owe on it. So that's how the bank works. All right. The mortgage is probably held at the bank with the seller, though. Does that make sense?
That
So
makes
I have two that still have mortgages. One is an Oregon property, and my payment that I go on the website, I have their login information. I go on, I make the payment every month, and that payment is $455. I had agreed to give them an extra $100 a month. So instead of giving it to my seller, I actually put it toward principal. So pay $555 a month, paying down my what I have to pay out at the end of the deal. And my deal's for 5 years. And my tenant buyer, their deal is for 2 years, and they pay all the taxes, they pay all the utilities, they pay all the things, and they deposit in Cozy $1,100 a month.
Okay, this is a great segue into the next question. Shantae says, how much money do you typically collect above the mortgage payment from your tenant buyer?
600.
600. So you have a 600 spread. The mortgage payment is whatever, and you charge $600 more.
Yep. And then
Shelley,
usually
what you got?
part of
no
that,
less than, go ahead, Sheila.
I was going to say, and I have to also look at the only other expense I have out of that. Well, if it's got a mortgage on it, then I don't have any extra expense. It's just, that's just straight money. But on the particular house in Oregon, the seller had insurance on the house, and the insurance company wouldn't renew their insurance because he had not replaced the roof, and he didn't disclose this to me prior to selling. So I called the insurance and said, hey, what's the deal? He got a cancellation notice. I've been trying to pay the insurance. It wouldn't let me pay the insurance. And they said, yeah, because it won't let you, because the company he's with has said that he has to replace the roof. And I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. Wait a minute. Let's regroup. So I told her that I usually worked with insurance brokers, and she said, well, that's what we are. And I said, okay, so what companies do you work with? And she told me. I said, okay, well, I have 4 insurances with this company that you work with, and I've got 3 insurances with this other company over here. And what can I do to get insurance on this property? And so she went ahead and we got insurance. We now pay the insurance on this property that we have, that we're paying a mortgage on for somebody else. And so that's part of our expense on this property. We can't change what we're requesting from the tenant buyer. So we're now having to eat that $47 a month, but that's fine, because when she moved in, she had no flooring down. She had no cabinet doors on the cabinets. She had no light fixtures up. And they went in a weekend. Her and her boyfriend and family went in and did all these things, so it made it livable for her to move in on a Monday.
Wow.
Awesome.
Shelley, what do you have between the mortgage payment and the rental?
Okay, so I want to have at least a $350 spread between what I owe my seller or the bank and what I'm getting from my tenant buyer, no less than 350.
And I'll jump in since we lost Brenda. I'll tell y'all that I have some deals that make $100 a month, and I have some deals that make no dollars a month. But Shelley said it earlier, as long as we're winning 2 out of 3 ways, I'm okay with that. If somebody gives me, $15,000 down, but I don't make anything per month, and then I'm going to make $45,000 when they buy it, that's still 60 grand that I'm working with on a deal that I have $10 invested in. I have no idea what that ROI percentage is, but it's flipping good. Okay. It's just good. So I'm willing, as long as I'm getting, big money, I'm willing to get a little skinny on the monthly payments sometimes, as long as I'll have the back end money too. Or if I don't get the back end money, then these people are just paying down. So I'm going to end up with a free and clear house that other people have paid off for me. So
Right.
I'm good with it.
Right.
I'm good with it. Okay, Shantae says, I don't have a lawyer. Do I need one before I get my first deal? If not, when should I get one?
Start interviewing if you want, but I mean, as far as finding a good title attorney, you can start networking a little bit with or interviewing different title companies. Do you do this? Do you handle this? Ask questions, see what they do. If they say, no, we don't do that, next,
So taking Whitney's purchase and sale agreement, I took it, and then I took a copy of the one I got from the title company, took both of them to an attorney, and he wrote me another, using those, he wrote me another contract, purchase and sale agreement. And I called the office and I said, hey, somehow I've misplaced this thing. Can you send it to me in Word? And he did. And it wasn't the attorney, it was the guy who answered the phone. He sent it to me, and now I just change addresses and names and prices.
We'll help you find an attorney when it's time for that. I want you to focus on talking to sellers. It's a lot easier to find an attorney when you have a contract that needs to be closed.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. They're all going to take you way more serious. Lynn says, that's the opposite of what the gurus say. I love it. So I have no idea what we said when she dropped that comment. We'll have to find out what we said. And then she says, does FTDF Plus help us with basic tech stuff like websites and YouTube, etc.? I'm going to jump on this and say no. I help you get deals done. Sheila has done tons of deals. She's made thousands of dollars, and she just asked Brenda if Brenda would help her set up a YouTube channel. So you don't need to worry about setting up a YouTube channel. You don't really need to worry about setting up your website. You need to come in and start practicing talking to sellers and building your negotiation skills and getting on the phone and making offers. And we'll figure out all that other stuff later. Okay, I promise we'll figure it out together. If Llewellyn was here, she'd tell you that we just got her putting videos up on Facebook and taught her how to do that. So no, it's not in the curriculum, but if that's what you need help on, somebody will help you do it. Right?
Yep. And we communicate, not just sorry. I was just we communicate amongst our group throughout the week. We don't just talk on Tuesday.
Correct.
We text, we call, we exchange information, we ask questions. We know Whitney's got a lot going on, and she has more things to do than just focus on us. So within our community, we share information.
It's an open communication channel.
And
and there's the group too. So you can always post in the group and say, I got this. What do y'all think?
Right.
There's former flockers or former flamingos that step forward, and they'll put some really great information out there if they can help.
Yep. And that's in First Loan and Fast and FDDF Plus.
Mhm.
Yep. How long do you give them to get a mortgage from the bank?
12 to 24 months.
So my very first lease option that I'm buying under seller financing, my tenant buyer signed a 2-year lease. At the end of that 2 years, about a month before their 2 years was up, they said, hey, we've had a situation. We've had to use the money we were setting aside for a mortgage as a down payment on a mortgage. We had to do something else with that. And we don't want to lose our house. I said, not a problem. They had been in there 24 months. So after 24 months, they gave me another $5,000, which I am putting toward the price, the sales price. But because they didn't exercise their option in 24 months, I've increased the purchase price by $10,000. So now they have another 2 years. They've given me another $5,000 and I've increased the purchase price by $10,000.
Boom.
That's a great answer for this next question. We've got 4 more questions. What happens if after 2 years they don't have the down payment to buy and they need another year or 2? We just extend. Sheila just told us that.
Mhm.
All right, Chrissy says, have you had any luck finding an investor wanting to retire and sell off properties as a package? Man, I wish Brenda was still here because Brenda just did that. She got 7 deals from one dude in December.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I'm still talking to
Sheila,
somebody from 2 years ago for 29 properties.
yep. And Shelly, you got 3 properties yesterday
Under contract yesterday.
from the same person?
Yes. And he took me to a 4th, and I probably could have signed that one, but I didn't like his price, and I said, well, why don't you think about it? Because I figured I'm going to be talking to him again here soon. So I thought we'll circle back around on that 4th one and let him think about, so anyways, yeah, I got three contracts, 3 different properties yesterday.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yay!
It's a good trip.
All right, Vanessa says, do you still contact people in a house that looks vacant, even though PropStream says it's occupied?
Oh yeah.
Why wouldn't you? If nothing else, it's practice.
Yeah.
Vela says, how do you negotiate the price with the seller, the option money, the monthly payment, and the future sales price?
You'll learn that tomorrow, I think. Isn't tomorrow you're doing deals?
Yeah.
We're doing 3 offers tomorrow. We're
Okay.
going to make
Okay,
3
cool.
offers. And y'all tell me too, when we talk about making 3 offers tomorrow, my goal in making 3 offers is just start opening your mouth and making some offers. Don't overanalyze it. Don't over process it. Don't crunch the numbers for 3 weeks. Just open your mouth and put something out there and see what happens.
Well, this falls kind of in line with my grocery store story that you love so much.
I love this story. Tell us about it.
So I met some sellers. They saw my bandit sign and they had a property that they had inherited. The wife had inherited the property and her brother had lived there, and then her nephew had lived there, and all these people had lived in this house, and they had totally trashed it. And they called me up and said, hey, we want to sell. And I said, okay. And I went and saw it was still full of junk, including animal feces and you name it, it was in this house. Anyway, so I made my 3 offers and they needed the money to buy a mobile home to live in on the property that they were living on because they were living in an RV. So they needed the cash. And I told them, here's my cash offer. This is my other offer. And they said, no, we have to have cash. I said, okay, well, this is what I can do. So I was in the grocery store and they called and I was in the meat department and they said, we just can't go that low. We can't do it. And I said, okay, well, if your pricing needs change or you have any other, opportunity to do something different, that's fine. But if things change, let me know. I love the house. I'd love to get it under contract, but the ball's in your court. By the time I got through with the meat department and back to the cash register, they called and they said, when can we sign a deal? And we'll take your offer. And
See, y'all,
hope
I don't convince anybody of anything. I just make offers, and the people that want to work with me come along.
Yep. And
Right?
that was, yeah. And that I wholesaled that deal and made $15,000.
15
every
grand.
day. Happens every day.
Yep.
I love it. Okay, Lynn says, is a lease option the primary exit strategy that the group uses?
It's a great,
Yeah.
it's a great
I mean, that's where you make your
tool.
money.
It's a great tool. It works on both buying and selling.
Yes.
I'll tell you though, there's thousands of ways to make money. Sheila's got some that she's done wholesale deals on. Shelly's got some she's going to wholesale. Sheila's done some that she's sold on a lease option. Shelly's going to get those 3 on a lease option. Sheila's done some that she's bought the house furnished and turned it into an Airbnb corporate rental. Shelly's got some that she turned around and just turned into a regular rental. Brenda's got some that she wholesaled that she's doing some lease options on. I don't think she has any rentals, but we got one that we want her to lease option. And if it comes back, then we're going to do a short-term rental on it. So it all depends on the deal. And I'm game to look at it. And when we do the Deal Makers Club, I'm going to say, okay, great. But how are we going to make money? What are we going to do? What's the plan for this one? What would be a good fit for it? So lease option, probably what, 75% of the time?
Mhm.
But I'm down for it. If it's going to make money and it's going to be good and we're going to hold it and whatever you want, whatever the seller's wanting, whatever the market says, let's do it. And if we got to pivot on the next round, we'll change.
Yeah.
I missed one. Chrissy said, how did Brenda find the investor seller? I'm pretty sure that was a yellow letter, wasn't it?
No, it was a friend. It was not a friend, but an acquaintance. They had known each other. They'd lived in the same community, I think.
Okay. Okay, last question. Hope says, Whitney, you said don't make an offer on the first call, make the offer on the second call. How do you actually get off the phone without making an offer at the end of the first call?
Let me take a look at some more of the details and run my numbers, and I'll get back with you with some offers.
And there's some qualifying questions in there. One being, and this is just what I do. Whenever they say, okay, you said that you want to buy my house, what are you going to buy it for? And then I tell them, okay, well, I have some qualifying questions I need to ask just to kind of get an idea of what we're looking at. If you were to live in that house for another 5 years, what would you need to replace? If they said, oh, well, the kitchen needs to be updated or the roof needs to be updated, those are clues about the repairs you need to figure in your price.
I like the way that's phrased. I
Well,
really
the
like
seller lead
that.
sheet it's built the way it is for a reason.
Yep.
It's a scavenger hunt. It's a treasure hunt. We're trying to find out if they have any pain. We're trying to find out if there's a possibility. We're trying to find out what they got going on. And it's not on us to have that offer. Like Shelly said, I got to crunch some numbers. I got to check with my partners. And the goal of the seller lead sheet is to get an appointment. I got to come out and look at this property and make sure that it checks out in my experience versus what you're telling me here. Because how many times have you looked at a property and they said, oh, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Or they said, it's fine. And you get out there and you're like, okay, it is. All right. So I'm game for it either way. And I'm telling y'all, tomorrow we're going to make 3 offers, and a lot of your questions are going to get answered when we start making those offers. But a lot of your questions we're going to have to tackle next week, next month, next year in FTDF Plus. And we do this every Tuesday.
Yes,
we're totally
we do.
here for you in FTDF Plus.
Yep.
Ladies, I'm going to ask y'all the same question I asked Brenda. What would you tell somebody who's thinking about getting into FTDF Plus?
The hell you waiting on?
Thanks, Wayne.
Hey, truth is it.
And our business has definitely grown. And it's because of the accountability and the support. I mean, typically 9 times out of 10, I run most of my deals through the group before I finalize the deal. And you ladies know what I'm looking at, who I'm talking to, what they're asking for. I've run my numbers, all of these things before I actually go under contract, because these are things we discuss all week long. And I don't know of any other group guru coaching that gives you that kind of support. This is 100% who we are, what we do.
Mhm.
And if you're looking to have the camaraderie, the support, the all of us on text, all of us on your speed dial, this is the only way to go, is to do plus. Because if you're in FDDF, which is fine, the support you get is you ask the questions from the modules you've looked over, or you've watched, you've listened to, and you post a question. We may not always see it.
Mm-mm.
But when you're in plus, it's a smaller group and you have access to all of us all the time.
And just like Sheila said, as you all are out there watching this week, and you're pulling little tidbits from this, and you're thinking, wow, this is a great golden nugget. Oh, this answers my question there. We do this weekly. We support each other. I can't tell you how much these are my peeps. And I have goals, I have passions that I want to reach, and they understand, and we talk together about these, and they have the same things, maybe different, maybe a different color or different size or whatever. But I just feel like that I found my home I'm going to invest in myself no matter what.
Right.
And I know that these girls have that same mentality. So we're in the same lane, so to speak. And it really makes a big difference. I've grown a lot, and there's some things you have to unlearn to grow, and some things you have to learn to grow. So being with women that are in the same lane with you, you may see them learn something, and it's like you didn't even know you needed to learn that or unlearn it.
Yeah.
So I say you really need the interaction of the weekly meetings. I know for a fact that I won't hold myself as accountable as I am when I have to show up on the call on Tuesday and somebody's going to say, tell us about your celebrations, and did you get your letters out? Some things like that, because I know I have a deadline, and it's like Sunday, I need to do my letters,
Right.
or I need to post my posting, or I need to get my, my things together so that I can get out there. I need to be action oriented.
And
One
another
thing
thing
is, ladies, go ahead, Sheila.
sorry. No, I was going to say, we talk about our Tuesday call, and our Tuesday call, we do our celebrations for an hour.
Yeah.
And we go through the room, and everybody gets an opportunity to share and to celebrate. But there's more to it than that, because then we go into office hours, and we may be in office hours depending on what we have going on. We may need to be discussing a deal. We may need to be discussing problems with the seller. We may need to be anything, in our office hours.
2-3 hours.
2, 3, 4 hours. It just depends on what we have going on that we need that time to discuss it with our people.
But FDDF group talks daily, not just
Yeah, well, we do.
We did.
because you all help
Yeah.
each other.
Yes.
Amen.
And I would say we used to do office hours and it was just one-on-one, and that was great, but we opened it up to the whole group, and everybody really enjoys learning everything from the whole group. It feels like more of a group atmosphere than a one-on-one. So that's why we have these office hours, and it's office hours for anybody. If you need to, pick anybody else's brain, go for it.
Yeah.
That's our Tony Robbins stuff.
It is, exactly.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, awesome. And I want to say that people also tell me that they don't want to come to the plus calls and be the slacker. They don't want to be the one that has to say, I didn't do this, or I didn't do that, or blah, 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 whatever, because everybody's celebrating and you want to have something to celebrate too. And then
That's right.
it's not competition, but it's wanting to make sure that you're playing at the same level as everybody else.
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to be? If this is where you want to be, you're going to make the step to be there. You're going to make
Yes.
you're going to make the commitment. You're going to do the work. It's not easy.
No.
It's not free. It's not it's not something that you can just turn on and turn off. You have to make the commitment. You have to do the work. You have to prove to yourself that being in this group is worth your time.
FDDF Plus gives me consistency in my actions, in my thoughts, in my, a lot of different things that play into this big picture of, day to day baby, steps towards getting those sellers, calls back, letters out, bandit signs, marketing consistently, making offers, all of it. And if I'm not doing it, I'm listening to somebody else, and it normalizes it. It makes it so that it's something that we just do, because not everybody else understands this.
And so
I've got family members that go,
you did
what?
what?
Yeah.
And it's like this week, I am focusing on the house. We bought a new house in August. We're turning our old house into a short-term rental, extended stay rental situation. Got a call from an agent 2 days ago saying, hey, I heard you have a house that my buyers that are moving to the area can stay in for 6 weeks. I'm like, yeah, we're not completely moved out yet. And and we bought our new house in August, but we're still not completely moved out. Anyway, she's like, well, they're interested. Do you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, okay. So this week, I haven't focused on building my business because I have to get that situated first. And so this gives you an opportunity to adjust and change. And I mean,
Action.
I had this week, letters on this day and bookkeeping this day and all these things lined out in my calendar. Well, when I got a phone call saying, hey, we're going to give you $1,800 for 4 weeks, and then we'll do a daily rate after. What did I have to do? I had to cheat.
I gotta go. We'll do that later. I'll catch up on that stuff. I gotta go make some money, honey.
That's right.
Exactly. So on Tuesday.
Hey, Sheila. I asked you earlier what you were doing when you started. Did you tell us what happened after 2 years?
I left my job.
Yay! 2 years was the magic number for me. Also, I was working at my mom's truck company, and it took me 2 years to do enough deals at the same time to be able to replace my income. And now mom and I get to hang out more and have more fun because I got more time.
Right.
And Sheila, you have more fun with your daughter now too. Y'all did some stuff in December and you're doing some other stuff.
Yeah, and we're actually, my daughter and I are both on the advisory committee, the advisory board for Salvation Army. I'm the chairman, she's the co-chairman. And I figured the only way I could get time with her other than real estate stuff was to volunteer and do other things. So that's what we're doing. And then my mom,
And I know Shelly's getting.
she could does
Go ahead.
driving with dollars with me. And so we have that hangout time.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you get to hang out with everybody. And I know Shelly's had more time with her son lately and more
Mhm.
time to be a nanny and more time to like bond with your daughters because they're both in real estate also. So
Mhm.
y'all, this works. And I also want to say that this is an investment. It's an investment in you. And we talk about everything that we got going on, but this pours over to them when they're with their kids, when they're with their friends, then they're enriching everybody's life and the community by doing these deals and uplifting everybody. So it really is, it's an investment, but it uplifts so many people around you. And then you can pass on these investments and a lot of the knowledge to your kids. Otherwise, they're going to be, they could be learning like Brenda's kids are learning as teenagers. If I'd known
They
this when I
are.
was a teenager, y'all, if you would have known this stuff when you were their age, like, holy smokes,
Yeah, where would you be
So-
now?
So like
it'd be
My
totally
daughter-
different.
yeah, my daughter, when Wayne was speaking earlier about there was a local agent who said that we were doing things that were illegal and so on. My daughter, before she became an agent, was that agent's assistant. And she said whenever my daughter said something about what we were doing and she was looking at this deal for us and stuff, the agent was like, your parents can't do that. That's illegal. They can't do that kind of stuff. And my daughter has gone to training with me to other things and other boot camps. And so she knew that it was legal. And she was able to stand up to her then boss and say, hey, no, we as real estate agents, you have to learn creative financing. You may not implement it, but it is part of the curriculum.
And something else you learn from FDF Plus is there are realtors that you get to know very well, and those realtors come across deals that they can't do for sellers, but they turn those deals over to you and give you an opportunity to do something with. And it's just a relationship that you build.
So just to
There's
kind of
lots of ways. There's lots of ways to get leads. There's lots of ways to get deals. There's lots of relationships and growth and all those things. And we are going to work on all of those in FDDF Plus.
Kind of
Sheila,
a-
you got anything to add before we end?
kind of a side note from what Wayne just said. An agent cannot sign a contract and then hand that lead off to an investor without making it public. So you have to build those relationships with those agents outside because they're no longer allowed to do pocket deals.
Yeah.
So you have to build that relationship with those agents so that when they get those leads, they bring them to you before they go under contract. I mean, just CYA because we've been there.
Cup of coffee.
See, we've got lots of little tidbits. Everybody's got something to teach you at FDDF Plus, and we're so excited for you to join us next week. Yay! I would say also, if you've got a call booked with me, if you need to change the phone number or change anything, you can reply back to the link where you scheduled it. You should have an email confirmation. I'm going to send you some reminder emails to remind you when your call is. If you need to change it or reschedule it or anything like that, then that's totally cool. If you have any questions about how much is First Little and Fast, how much is FDDF Plus, how do I get started, how can I just pay and join, and I'm excited to hang out with all these ladies, email info@whitneynicely.com and Miranda will take great care of you, or you can call 865-309-4500. That's the Whitney Buys Houses office phone. Miranda answers it all day during the workday. Do y'all have anything else you want to add to our new flockers coming in?
I'm so excited.
Yes. I look forward to Tuesday.
Well,
I do too.
We have lots of new ladies coming in, lots of new energy,
Oh,
lots
that's
of new
gonna be
questions, and we
fun.
loved it. We love it. So thank you all so much.
Are we extending office hours from 3 to 5?
We will work on something. We'll make sure everybody gets their questions answered on Tuesday, for sure. For sure.
We'll
Also,
fill it up.
Sheila and Wayne are on the West Coast, so they have to adjust for us. And so we're happy to help you wherever you are in the country. You don't have to be in Knoxville. You can be in Washington State or California or New Mexico, wherever it is you are. We will, make sure that we're tending to you and that we're getting your questions answered for sure. Y'all, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. If anybody has any questions, then we'll have another Ask Me Anything tomorrow night. We're going to have our cake and ice cream party tomorrow night. And then this group shuts down on Saturday. Can y'all believe we're 4 days into a 5-day challenge and it's all over tomorrow? Well,
Wow.
it's not just over, it's the beginning. All right. Those of you that are going to come into the flock, we're so happy to have you. And we can't wait to get you in some pink. Sheila's got her shirt on. I got my First Woman Fast shirt on, my FTDF Plus. Shelly's got them too. It's all good. We're happy to help y'all. And there'll be a 3 o'clock post. Well, okay. There'll be a 6 a.m. task that comes out. It's the 3 offers. There's going to be a 3 p.m. Ask Me Anything. And then I'll go live in the group tomorrow at 7. I'll answer your questions. If I missed any today, I think we covered more than what you asked. So I'll get to those also. I hope y'all have a lovely evening. Make those offers tomorrow. I'm so excited. And we'll see you at the meeting on Tuesday, right, ladies?
Yep. Thanks,
Uh-huh.
everybody.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesday.
Bye, y'all. Good night.
Night.
Y'all hang out with me for just a second. Let me make sure I
Okay.
end this right, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye, y'all.